listening to Clash Royale Radio with Dylan and Caleb in 3, 2, 1.
And welcome back to Clash Royale Radio, episode number 45. I am your host, Dylan. And guys, this week we're going to be talking about the new Evo, the Executioner, and a brand new card, the Boss Bandit, the work in progress balance changes, and the card MVP. And we are here with the man, the legend, KarateKid.
Hello. Glad to be back.
Heck yeah, I'm glad you're back too. So how's it going, man?
It's going, same old. Starting to kind of get a little more back into Clash Royale.
Heck yeah.
Given all the changes that have been causing a Lava Hound nerf, causing me to get a little more motivation and just prove a point. Lava Hound's still going to be relevant.
That's actually very interesting, especially with the new Evo coming out next season. You think this season? Are you going to push for a ranked season this season, or a ranked push?
Honestly, I might do a little bit. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Like if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't.
Because it's been a few seasons, right? Since you've actually tried.
It's been probably 6-8 months since I've gotten a ranked finished last. Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
at this point, I'm fine. I've gotten most of the things I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about just kind of having the time of pushing, just adapting to the meta.
Yep. I've been
just with
slowly
working a lot. It's not been the easiest to spend a lot of time on the game.
Yeah, I've been slowly just grinding out. Been playing Mortar Bait and just kicking everybody's butt. It's crazy, and I mean I know I've been low for a while, and I just got to Royal Champ and just climbing very easily. Like I'll get some of these hard counter matches where people have like arrows and log and Executioner in one deck, so it's really hard to win those games, but it's very few. But yeah, I've been climbing pretty easily, so I might try to get to Ultimate Champion because it's been very, very long since I got to Ultimate Champion, but it's been a while since I've actually tried. So
yeah,
we'll
it's
see.
all about putting the effort into it and just putting the time in.
Yeah,
is like it's all like when I was making my push, I went in heavily like early in the season. Then Retro Royale came out.
Yeah, that's true.
I spent most of my time over there.
Yep, that's true.
I didn't hit Ultimate until like right before, like I want to say like Monday or Tuesday of this week.
I totally forgot about Retro Royale was this month or this season. So yeah, that put a toll on my gameplay as well because I played a lot of Retro.
I was trying to get a rank there, but I was just a little bit off from getting there.
So, what do you think about Retro? Or what did you think about it?
So, I'm on the fence about it. So, with Retro Royale, I liked the fact that it brought everything almost as back to 2017 as we could.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that makes current Clash Royale different than what it was back then is that you were seeing one deck like take over the whole game.
Yeah.
That being Giant Double Prince.
Mm-hmm.
The other issue is we were seeing a lot of decks that were run like adaptations of current variants of decks, not what decks were back then.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a fresh start and going back to WoW, like 8 years ago.
So I do have to say something about that. I'm actually, and I'm hesitant to actually say this because I know they only had 80 cards, 70 cards total. I think it was 80. So
give or take.
So I know they could have put all of. I like to see when they put all of the cards with no evolutions and no tower troops, and just try it out that way and see how the meta is there, but like with the only 80 with retro, yeah, you only see in like maybe 1 or 2 decks. There's a bunch of giant decks, like Giant Graveyard I've seen, the giant double Prince deck, obviously. Lightning was heavily used. And the good thing about, POL, you got all these evolutions, which it does, switch out the meta, or like there's a bunch of variety out there and you see it a lot. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, once in a few seasons, you'll have like a broken card and a lot of people are abusing it. And yeah, you see that variant decks out there a lot. But like, I think overall, since Retro Royale came out, I'm actually thankful for the evolutions, which is kind of weird to say.
Like evolutions themselves, like they came at a bad time of of the game.
Yeah.
Because it came as like in the same update as level 15.
Yep.
I think if evolutions were added different, like in a different time, where you added the evolutions, I would say almost say first
with champions,
and then say like cool. 3-4 months down like the road, then add level 15.
Yeah.
There would be a whole different story. Like we wouldn't be talking about evolutions being like busted, not deserving to be in the game. We would see like maybe a slight shift in appeal for him.
Yeah. I think my biggest flaw would be the tower troops. I mean, I think they're kind of dumb. I'm not the biggest
Agreed.
fan. I think, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a cool idea, but maybe they keep tower troops in a mode like where the special troops are at. You know what I mean? Like the super mini P.E.K.K.A. Keep it in those modes. But
yeah, because like, at one point I agree that I think that tower troops right now are the most balanced that they have ever been.
That's true. They really are.
Still, with Princess being like one of, if not the best tower troop in the game.
Mm-hmm.
My concern is, again, this makes everything more like a rock, paper, scissors match instead of really figuring out like skill for skill who's better.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can do so much to like outplay someone, but say they have like all the cards that can like wipe out your entire push, you can only do so much.
Mm-hmm. I'm at this point, so I really feel like I'm getting really good at Clash Royale. Like, yeah, I still have a lot to work. I'm definitely not your level, but like I can definitely feel myself like counting more elixir, when to really push and when to punish. And but the one thing I find myself lacking is counting their Evo rotation. And I have like this opportunity. I remember like there's a few matches like this where I'm playing against somebody that has a evolution Valkyrie, and I have this moment in that game where I could really punish this situation. So I was like, okay, miner in the back, bats, and throw everything out because he just used both of his mini spells, and then all of a sudden he has a Valkyrie and just cleans everything up. I'm like, I gotta focus on that, and yeah, I think I really just got to pay attention on the evolution cycle.
It's not easy. I still have some issues with that, but
yeah,
it's all about just really paying more attention to it. There's more stuff to focus on now than there was, say, 3-4 years ago.
Absolutely.
So all you could really do is like, if you have more of that awareness, you're already getting the game sense, so you know how to play the deck, like in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
But it's all about like finding the little things, figuring out like the specific interactions that you can do to optimize your defense,
and obviously
capitalize on offense.
And there's times where, I mean, I don't want to brag on too too much of myself because like there's definitely situations where I misplay something and then boom, I just instantly lose. Like, you play that, especially in my opinion with mortar bait. Like if you don't have a very good defensive scheme, like you're going to lose really badly. Like I think it's I would say it's somewhat easy, but like it's kind of not. Like there's sometimes there's really weird matchups and they're really hard to win. And if you don't really know how to play them, then you're definitely not going to win. But
yeah, that happens to everyone. Like you see it with Molite, you see it with Riley, you see it with Ian. You name the person like at that high level, you're gonna see. Like, I mean, there's a reason that all these top players that like we see, especially in the Clash Royale League,
yep,
they don't have a 100% win rate.
Right.
Because there's a human element of the game that makes things interesting. You can't guarantee like, oh, this is going to happen every single time.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take that into account as well. Like knowing anything can happen, you just got to adapt to the circumstance.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I say, let's move on. The new evolutions and the brand new champion card coming out next season in April. So let's start with the Executioner. It is a one cycle. The stats stay the same. And his ability is an Xe Smash, I guess.
That's what it's called, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But yeah, it pushes them back, kind of like you were saying a little earlier before the show. It's kind of like a bowler. It just pushes back troops, and we just now noticed it does not push back Prince. So there is a weight, a mass deal where it won't push back a lava. It definitely won't push a golem. So yeah. When it first released, I thought it pushed back everything. So I was like, wow, this thing is absolutely broken. So them showcasing that it's all dependent on the card weight. I think it's balanced. I think it's, it's same old Xe, in my opinion.
I mean, like to an extent, I agree. But at the same time, that knockback, like say you're playing an air-based deck, you have the Executioner in the back on defense. You have it as its Evo. It's not the tank that you're really noticing the difference with. It's like the flying machine, the skeleton dragons, it's the baby dragon even.
Yeah, those are going to get pushed for sure. Yeah.
Lighter weight support troops that you'll notice more of a difference with.
That's true, yeah.
And you look at like groundings too, like say
barbarians.
If you're playing, barbarians, even if you're playing like that, like a giant deck or a golem deck, you'll see the Night Witch will get affected.
Yeah, wow.
Maybe the Electro Dragon, depending on how the weight is.
True. Yeah, I never thought of that.
But like all those support troops, like the Musketeer, the Mega Minion, like all those like utility units are gonna get affected.
Yeah, you're right.
That changes a lot of interactions in the game, whether like people realize it or not. That knockback causes the Executioner to stay alive for a longer period of time.
Yeah. And much dangerous on defense as well.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if people start using Rocket more, because Lightning doesn't take out an Executioner. Lightning Arrows does.
Yeah.
Rocket will one-shot it.
Lightning and Zap doesn't?
No.
Wow.
It's like an Inferno Dragon.
Yikes. I see. Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
Like from what I've seen, at least, because I've played the best of the best with against when they were using Executioner.
Mm-hmm.
I've played when I was using Lightning. I've played when I was using Fireball.
The times that you're playing against
Rocket,
Viper?
What I know for a fact will take out an Executioner.
Yeah.
but that's a one elixir negative.
Yeah, right.
But if you don't have lightning, you're going to spend so much more trying to counter it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I thought the Evolution Hunter was going to be absolutely broken. And in my opinion, I think it's just not in a good spot because it's very, very swarmy, very baity meta, in my opinion, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, and there's also so much you can do, like when there's so many things that serve that exact same purpose.
Right. Like, yeah.
It's an anti-air unit.
Yeah.
Like the only benefit that it has is that it can put an air unit to the ground, so like skeletons can hit it.
Yeah.
You'll only see it in RG decks, and even there, you might not even see it at all.
The evolution, yeah.
Yeah, because the RG in every single deck that you'll see with Royal Giant in it will be evolved. That leaves one slot that you can use.
Yeah.
And there's the rotation between like Evo Zap, Evo Skeletons, the Hunter, sometimes Cage even.
Yeah, I forgot about Cage is one, yeah.
There's so many different evolutions Bomber, that you can use.
Bomber's in really good
in spot. Royal Giant. It doesn't make the Hunter's Evo stand apart from everything else.
Yeah.
Anything that you want to pitch into that, Benny?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's going to be it's going to be a little bit better card now because of the evolution, obviously. But in my opinion, it's going to be kind of like it's going to be a little bit better than Hunter, I think. And I think Lumberjack is still going to be king of the throne, in my opinion. But yeah. Let's go.
I mean, sometimes we might have to take a little step back and then dash as soon as we find out what the meta is going to be like.
Yep. And
which leads us into a perfect segue right there.
The Boss Bandit, the brand new champion card, also coming in, and I'm guessing it's coming as soon as the season starts. I haven't really paid attention of when it's actually going to be released. If it's going to be released, in 2 weeks after the season started, who knows? Because they do like to do that sometimes. But the Boss Bandit, it has the ability to, go invisible, and they use the term teleport back. I think it was 6 tiles, or it might be longer than that, but I think it was 6 tiles, and then it's basically a bandit. It'll dash right back in. So it does have like this bar in the middle of its health bar, like a 50% mark. So you can only use its ability twice when you lay it down, which is a very, very good idea, in my opinion. And me and Karate were talking about that before the show as well. I think in my opinion, they should do that with all the champions. But in reality, how many times you're going to, with each champion, you're not going to do it more than twice. Like there's no way you're going to do a third ability on a champion ever. I've never done it. But.
It's like you can have like the craziest situation, like that 1 in a million shot where you have, say, like 3 or even more abilities activated. Yeah. That same unit has to be on the field for so long. And the cooldowns in general are about like 15, 20 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really have too many of those seconds in like a Clash Royale game. You have up to like 5 minutes, and that's a majority of the game. That's half of, say, double elixir, or that's half of single. Like that's like a quarter of like the time in like say single or double. When you're in triple, that's about like a quarter or even half the time. Because you're doing a 3-card cycle, you have so many other things you're worrying about. You're not going to be able to optimally use the ability as soon as it activates.
Yeah. Yep.
So normally, you'll be getting away with, say, one ability guaranteed, maybe 2 if you're lucky.
2 if you played its first ability as pretty much as soon as you laid it down.
Yeah, or if you played it early or you played the card early enough where you have plenty of time in the game.
But now I'm sorry, y'all, but I did not watch a video on the Boss Bandit. I don't know if there's a cooldown on it on her ability. I think you can use it right away, and then if her health is less than half now, then you can use it again. So you can go bang bang like that. So that is definitely something to pay attention as well, because I don't think there's actually a cooldown to the Boss Bandit. You just got to wait for the health bar to go down. So
yeah, I haven't seen too much either, but it all depends on how the actual stats of the Boss Bandit will be.
Yeah,
if it's going to be similar to a regular bandit, then I have a feeling it's going to be a very strong card. But
yeah,
if it has a little bit more health, where you're not going to necessarily see it as much, or see the quickness of the effect.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing: it also costs 6 elixir, so it's getting up there, on price. And I don't even know how much the ability costs. I think it was 1 elixir, but I could be wrong about that.
It should be a 1 elixir effect.
Yeah.
Usually when it comes to the past champions, it's been either about 1 or 2.
Yeah.
With Lil Prince, it's 3 because it's a 3 elixir champion.
Yeah, exactly.
And you'll already have a bunch of elixir when you pop the ability.
Yep.
But everything else is kind of in the middle of the road, be it 4, 5, and they have a 1 elixir ability to kind of get it to that 6 elixir kind of mark.
Yeah.
Where you already spent half your elixir bar to get there, to get the card out. You spend 1 or 2 extra to get the extra effects of the card.
Now, I know it's kind of early, and I know we both didn't really watch a lot of videos about this Boss Bandit, but there's, this is definitely a bridge spammed card, or it'll revolve around a bridge spam deck, I'm guessing. But with it costing 6 elixir, there's no way they're playing P.E.K.K.A. with this.
Oh no, I doubt it. But there are other variants of bridge spam without P.E.K.K.A.
Okay.
Sometimes with elixir collector, sometimes with 3M variants.
I would say with 3M this could be with 3M with pump. Maybe. I don't know. That's pretty pricey though. I don't know.
But you look at say Expo with elixir collector, that's 2 6 cards.
That's true.
And you can still cycle.
That's true.
You see elixir collector with a bunch of 6+ elixir cards.
Yeah.
That'll get you it'll still streamline the process, so you have the ability to play these cards at a higher rate.
Yep, that's true. And
I see regular bridge spam, say sometimes with Cannon Cart, I see that would be where it would shine, but that's all in speculation with very little context as to.
Or with I wonder if it'd be good with Battle Ram, or not Battle Ram, Ram Rider.
That is entirely possible, just with maybe not putting the Evo Battle Ram, maybe having Evo Zap and maybe the Evo Ice Spirit or another utility unit. Having just a regular bridge spam deck with Ram Rider, maybe instead of P.E.K.K.A, Mega Knight, anything like that.
Yeah. I'm just very
there
curious.
Are other variants besides just P.E.K.K.A Bridge Spam.
I'm very curious of
one of our more known
how
ones.
good the ability is going to be, because I think there is a smoke screen, or basically it turns invisible and it teleports straight back. So now your other troops will be targeted, and then it also it dashes right back into the play. So I don't know. I'm very interested to see how this will fit into the meta.
I'm gonna make the speculation right now before everything comes out that if used correctly, the boss bandit will be really strong. I'm not gonna say broken because I'm not gonna I don't want to guarantee anything, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be a very solid card, especially at the higher level.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also a champion
there's
card
a lot of room
too,
there.
And it's a brand new card, so you're probably. I mean, there's no way they wouldn't make a champion not strong. So
yeah,
I mean, Supercell's a business. That's all they care about. So like, it's going to be. I would think it's going to be pretty strong. But yeah, I wouldn't say it would be broken because we just don't know.
We probably wouldn't notice until like say 2 months from now. Once people start playing the card a lot more, having more awareness of what it does.
Mm-hmm.
It's like with most Evos in general, just knowing, like not knowing what it's going to be like when it comes out, but say the season after will be like where we notice the most of a difference.
Yep, exactly. That's a good point. Let's go to the work in progress balance changes. And these are going to be some good ones. So let's go right into it. We're going to go with the nerfs first. And just to say this one more time, this is a work in progress from this recording anyway. So let's go with number 1. The Tornado is getting a hit point reduction, a 50% less hit points. So, wow. That is a lot. From 168 to 84. What do you think, Roddy? I mean, I think that's a lot. That's crazy.
It is a lot. Like, I understand it, but I also don't at the same time. Where I understand the change is that the Tornado isn't. I don't think it's supposed to be one of those cards where it can like take out your skeletons or spear goblins or like be enough to kill a unit.
Yeah, well, I don't think this will kill.
Pull.
This won't kill normal goblins, will it? I don't think it will.
I don't think it will kill regular skeletons.
See, and
that's my concern.
Which is kind of, in my opinion, this is kind of like a buff. And I'm saying this because, like, imagine going against Graveyard. You can activate King Tower with this thing, with Tornado, if it doesn't kill skeletons. You know what I mean?
That might be the only upside. Let me take a look and see what the skeletons are health-wise.
Yeah. And I don't know if they're basing this like level 11 or level 15 or something like that. I don't know, but...
So, a maxed level skeleton is going to be at 119 health.
Wow.
Like it's still going to kill regular at tournament standard. If the balance changes are going off of that,
okay,
it's going to be like they're at 81.
Okay, so I wish they would clarify here because I don't know if this is actually tournament standard or level 15. It kind of stinks, but
it is going off of tournament standard. I just took a look at the Tornado right now.
Gotcha. Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Professionalism here. Taking a look actively as we're going through the changes.
So this is based on tournament standard. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, so it will kill skeletons.
It will, but barely. It won't kill spear goblins anymore.
Okay, that's pretty big too. But still, I think you can still with the Graveyard, they're still like coming up. So like, and a Tornado has like 3 ticks. So if you steal a skeleton off the second tick, you can surely drag it to your king.
It's like some weird timing thing that I wouldn't even say the pros are gonna consider doing.
It'd be something
just
to be aware of, though.
How close that is. It'll still kill everything in 1 tick.
Oh, it does. Oh, so this is per tick then? No,
yeah.
No, well, I mean, I guess against Crown Tower is different. Okay, I see.
Yeah, Crown Tower damage
Is different. It's like 40 something.
it's at 58,
Okay.
which is uniform with the rest of the small spells, like Zap, like Log,
Yep.
like Snowball.
Yep.
That all is in that same like category of like it's a small spell. It'll do that much damage to your Crown Tower.
Yep.
This affects everything else that's not the tower, like all the troops that are like pulled by it.
Yeah.
Which I have like mixed opinions on, just because it's going to change so much.
Yeah.
But it's not going to change enough especially
the Goblin Gang
we'd notice an aggressive difference.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what they actually do with the tornado. I don't know. Let's go with number 2, the Rage. It gets a damaged nerf 23%. So I don't know. I mean, it's fine with me. I mean, it also goes with Lumberjack as well. So is that going to kill spear goblins and stuff, or?
So it will still kill skeletons, because skeletons were at 81 at tournament standard. In terms of the spear goblins at tournament standard, they'll be at 133. So nothing's really going to change with that.
It's just slider. Okay, yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, yeah,
it's just going to be like it's not going to take like one more hit. It might take one more hit to kill like a smaller unit.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't be like too concerned about that. Like if that nerf went through, I'd be like, it really didn't do anything.
Yep. The number 3, the Goblinstein, the monster gets an HP nerf of 4%. So barely anything really, but definitely needed, I think. I think it was still a very strong card, but now the monster side will die a little bit sooner, and I'm definitely fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, the Goblin Signs has been relevant ever since the card came out. There's been countless nerfs to it.
Yep.
Whether it be to the Doctor, to the monster. It seemed like for a while they've been doing so much to it. Kind of like how Miner's been nerfed historically, and there's that little like loading page. It's like, oh, nerf Miner.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be what the Goblin Sign is going to be like.
Yeah.
Where there's going to be quite a few changes to it, but we don't know what's going to actually stick.
Yep. And for anybody that's like 7,000 trophies or lower, play Goblinstein. I'm telling you, I'm playing on my mini account. I'm playing like this pump bow with Goblinstein. Now, I know my Goblinstein's at level 15 and everything else is like level 12, 11-ish. So I know like my Goblinstein is carrying me. But I'm also playing against people that are level 14 troops as well. So like, and I'm still winning. But guys, seriously, play Goblinstein, because with those lower levels, people just spam, and you just lay a Goblinstein and you can clean their whole deal, their whole push with the Goblinstein ability, and then you're just walking. So, just a little tip for you guys that are in that trophy range. Let's go.
Yeah, the ability for the value that it has for 2 elixir.
Oh yeah,
it's basically a makeshift fireball. It'll take out barbarians, even the evolved ones.
It's crazy, man.
It's full duration.
The only bad thing about it is if they kill your doctor first, then you're kind of screwed. But other than that, it's golden. I mean, it's still good, and I don't know if any pros are really playing it. I'm sure
it's relevant, but you're not seeing it as frequently as you would see it, like say 2-3 months ago.
Yeah. Let's go to number 4. The Dagger Duchess get a damage nerf of 4%. 112 to 107. So I don't think it's going to be crazy. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot. I mean, 4% is a little much, I would think, I guess. But like, I don't know, 112 to 107 doesn't seem very much. And in my opinion, Karate, I don't think it really needed it. Like you were saying, the tower troops are as balanced as they've ever been. So I think this is just kind of a community thing where everybody just doesn't like Dagger Duchess because everybody's playing bait. So like Dagger Duchess is super annoying. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Say it's clearly the second best tower troop in the game under Princess Tower. But the difference that you're going to see between each little hit with the daggers at a fully leveled up, like fully charged, it's going to be probably a 40 damage difference.
Yeah.
Which very negligible.
Yeah. That's true.
But when you look at, say, when you have less of a charge, you might notice a little bit more of a difference. But yet again, it's not anything that you'd be too concerned about at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know the fire rate's gonna be slow. It's not gonna be able to take out those swarmy units as quickly. And you're going into every game when you're playing Dagger Duchess knowing that that's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I don't think it really makes too much of a difference. I think it's still going to be the second best tower troop in the game.
Yep.
I still think Princess, no matter what, will still be the top tower.
Yep.
And it will not be that card is not going to be touched.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, that's a great point. All right, let's go all the way to the bottom because these are basically all nerfs as well. The Goblin's first hit time is getting a nerf of 50%, 0.4 seconds to 0.6, and that's going with all goblins. Every single goblin, so it's going to get a lot longer, like a 50% more time to hit that tower or to hit anything really. It's his first hit time. And Karate, what do you think about this?
I got one word to say about this.
Hallelujah.
Wow. That is a lot of cards being affected.
50% though.
The thing, the amount of goblin cards that there are in the game that have stab goblins, that have anything like that involved with the card itself, it directly changes how probably a tenth of the game is played.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have regular stab goblins as that defensive utility unit, just like a tankier version of skeletons that does a little bit more damage.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Goblin Barrel, which is your win con, that and the Evo. The Goblin Gang, a defensive powerhouse. The Evo Goblin Giant, it has when it's under half HP, it'll keep spawning the goblins.
Super annoying. Yeah.
The Evolved Mortar drops goblins every time it hits a shot.
No.
The Drill, both the regular and the Evo, are going to spawn the same amount of goblins. This affects a bunch of win conditions in the game. This affects a bunch of archetypes, whether it be say your Hog Cycle decks or your Bait decks or your Beatdown decks.
My poor mortar.
No matter the archetype, you are going to notice a change if you play anything with a goblin in it.
Yeah. This is
there are a few reworks that we might depending on how things are.
Yeah, that's true.
It might cancel some of them out.
Yeah.
But this makes enough of an impact in the entire meta that you'll see a shift. Some people may not even play stab goblins as much, or I doubt there's going to be a change in the bait meta, but
right.
What you will notice is that there is going to be a shift.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how that shift's going to be, but there will be a change. this is a huge impact to the entire game.
And I hope they keep it. I want them just to do it. See how much it just changes stuff up, in my opinion.
Honestly, I agree. I think a fresh tune-up to the game is like well needed.
Yeah. But let's go to the buff side. So number 5, we got Rachel. I don't even know what it's called, honestly. The Berserker. It's getting a HP
good old
buff.
Rachel.
The hit time or the hit points. Yeah, the HP buff to 130 or 832 to 896. 8% more. So I think that's a lot, actually. Because she's so fast at hitting, and she's only 2 elixir. So I think we'll be seeing her being played just a little bit more. But what do you think?
I agree. It is a lot, but at the same time, how many times are you going against the Berserker? How many times do you see Rachel?
Yeah.
In like a Path of Legends game in Trophy Road?
I don't think I've ever seen her.
Challenges even.
I've never seen her in. I don't think so.
I've probably seen the card in like a handful of decks, and I could probably count on one hand.
Yeah.
How many times I've seen Rachel in the past like 2 weeks?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen Hunter play her a little bit with Expo, like a pump bow deck. He plays her more on defensive, trying to get some stuff down. You know, it's only cost 2 elixir. It's a good cycle card, but
yeah, it's like a glorified Dark Goblin. It's that utility unit where you're not going to be using it as like an aggressive offensive powerhouse, but it has the defensive potential to cancel out some of the swarm units. Like how it can cancel out, like say you're playing Expo and they play something smaller with less health, you can get a higher chance of getting a lock.
Yeah, right.
It's not one of those cards that'll be like game defining, but
no, but
it can
I
make
think
a difference.
Yeah, it's gonna make a little difference. Yeah. I think this buff will definitely make a little bit of a difference, and I don't know if it'll really make it real popular, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it might go from like niche to just an off meta method of like removal.
Yep. But the bush is also getting a buff. The goblin damage is going from 227 to 256, which is a plus 13%. And in my opinion, now I don't use Bush, but every time I've seen it, I think it's one of the most underrated cards in the game. I mean, it moves so slow, it can't be detected. You got to spell it somehow. And it really does a lot of damage to a tower if you just leave it, like a lot. But I don't know what you're thinking. 13%.
So, I agree. It's a lot. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. My concern is I still don't think it's going to be used.
I think it could replace, it doesn't have an evolution, but I'm about to say it could replace wall breakers. But yeah.
It has that similar effect, but where, say, wall breakers have that aggressive, like, power play, they're very fast. Nobody plays just a bush straight up and lets it just go to the tower.
Yeah.
Everyone plays like, say, a knight or something very small, like just even another unit. It doesn't matter what the unit is; they're just playing something else alongside the bush to give your opponent like log value or zap value.
Yeah. Well, I think it's definitely going to be a log bait card for sure. It could replace Skeleton Barrel. You know.
It can.
I don't know.
but it's a ground unit, so like anything can hit it technically. Even a ghost, say like you place
a
gang with the bush.
Yeah.
The ghost can hit it with the recoil.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I think, in my opinion, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it a lot more. Maybe when I say
Rascals.
that. Yeah, true. Rascal and Prince. All right, let's go to number 7. The Evo Tesla. The pulse damage is getting 18% more damage, 148 to 174. 18%. But yeah, just the pulse damage. It was definitely one of the weaker buildings, in my opinion. And I kind of wanted to see like that normal card get a little bit of a buff, some love, but I'll take whatever I can take. But what do you think?
It's very well deserved. So this could get a lot of flack, especially like say if any like of the top players are watching. But Evo cannons all over the place. You see it in Bait, you see it in Hog Rider, you see it in like Mortar, you see it in Expo. You see Evo cannon all over the place because it has that board wipe potential. It has it's 3 elixir. It's a cheap evolution you can just play and not feel bad about like making any like negative elixir trades with that. Evo Tesla, like, yeah, it's an 18% buff on the pulse damage, but it makes the card more relevant so you don't have to play just the Evo cannon. It gives her an option, because in Bait matchups, there used to be, you can play Inferno Tower and Classic Bait versus Tesla, and it wouldn't make much of a difference.
Yeah.
Now you have to play cannon because of the potential that it has, because of the fast cycle that it provides your deck. Because the Evo cannon is out, they limited the options to make Bait viable.
Yep.
Provides more of a unique experience. It diversifies the meta a little bit more. I think the 18% hit point buff is fine just because of that reason.
And it looks like... Okay, so it will not kill just the normal goblins. The goblins in tournament standard is 202 hit points. So not quite
and it'll be
goblins.
At 174.
And I believe that it'll still kill the normal spear goblins, which I think it always did.
Yeah.
133. So, yep. So it won't change anything in that aspect, but like you said, it definitely needed it. And speaking of the cannon, where is it at in these changes? I can't believe it didn't get. I'm just kind of shocked. It's it's the best building in the game, being very heavily used, and not even in the work in progress. So hopefully they change that.
Yeah, they might have to rework that in.
Yeah. Number 8.
We got a few reworks going on.
Yeah, reworks. We got the Evolution Lumberjack. The cycle, instead of one cycle, it's going to be 2 cycle, which I thought it should have been in the first place. But
Agreed.
The ghost damage is going up 10%. So, yay. I think part of the problem of this card, of why it's so good, is because of the ghost. But now we're going to be seeing the ghost a lot less because of the 2 cycle deal. So I think this is more of, I don't know, is this more of a nerf? I mean, it is a pretty good rework. I don't know. What do you think about this whole rework here?
It's more of a nerf than a buff, I would say.
Because you're getting less of the ghost now.
Exactly. You're getting less frequency.
Yeah.
You have, at that point, you have to make a trade-off.
Yeah. But the ghost is going to be a little bit more...
It would either have to be the hit speed or the damage. You can't touch... There's no health on the ghost.
Yeah.
It's invisible, so you can't do anything about it.
Yep. Which is so annoying.
there's only two things you can do to nerf it.
Yeah. Let's go to the other rework. The goblins, the deploy time is going 17% faster. So instead of 1.2 seconds, it's 1 second, the deploy time. So it's going to get a lot faster. And why that's a rework is because the goblins' first hit time speed is getting a nerf. So these goblins are already getting a nerf of the first hit time. So the goblins are going to be a lot faster when you deploy them. So it's kind of the same, I would say.
I don't think cancel everything out.
Yeah,
nothing out of the ordinary.
And the deploy time as well for the goblin barrel. It's also a rework, and that's with the evolution as well. So the deploy time was 1.1 seconds. Now it's going to be 0.9 seconds. So, like I said, it's a rework because of the goblins. Our first hit time is a lot longer. So, yeah, I think with these, the reworks for the goblins anyway, you're not going to see much of a difference. It's basically going to cancel them out. But everything else, I think you're definitely going to see a change. It's going to feel a little weirder, I guess.
Yeah, you're going to see basically zero difference between how regular stab goblins and the goblin barrel are, but anything else that has a goblin in it and has more stuff,
yeah,
you will notice a difference.
Like drill actually might die out. Drill might die out. I mean, there's a few drill, but like 50% longer first hit time is crazy.
It does, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 50% is crazy, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
Like, we're all going on speculation. We don't even know if these are final changes anyways.
Yeah, true. But overall, what do you think, man? If they finalize and this is what it was, what do you think overall?
On a scale from 1 to 10, this is definitely on the better side of what Supercell's been doing. Like, when we've gotten the bi-monthly balance changes.
Yeah.
I think in terms of Supercell standards, probably about a 6 or a 7 out of 10 for that. But in the community's kind of standpoint, I'm leaning more towards a 4 or a 5, just because it makes enough of a difference in the game, but how many interactions are really being affected by them by this?
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree I think it from 1 to 10, 10 being the best, I would think this is probably a 7. I think it's pretty good. Like I said, I think Cannon should be in there. It sucks that Mortar's getting the evolution Mortar is getting a nerf, but I thought it was a pretty good card anyway.
These changes aren't game breaking, but
it's not. Yeah,
you'll notice a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, I mean, with the Mortar, you're still getting that splash damage. You're still getting on tower, and you know what I mean. But
exactly.
So it's not really going to change much for that aspect. But
yeah, this is a good set of monthly balance changes. That's why I knocked it a little bit lower, because it's balance changes every 2 months instead of 1 month.
Yeah, definitely.
If this was just every month we're doing balance changes, this would be a good set, because it doesn't change the meta drastically, but it adds a little variety. It kind of spices it up just a little bit.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, guys, our last segment, the card MVP. And we're going to go with the best spell, the best building, and the best tower troop, which I don't know how much longer we're doing the best tower troop, because they are very, very balanced, and it's more than likely going to be Princess. So I think we'll just do the best card, the card MVP, and then the best spell and the best building in the game. So let's not go with card MVP. We'll do that last. So right now, let's go with the build, or let's go with the spell. So, Karate, what do you think the best spell in the game is?
I would honestly say between arrows and poison.
Wow.
Just because of the amount of value you can get for that like 3 to 4 elixir kind of mark. With arrows, you have the ability to take out any air or ground unit that's in that small, like the goblin bomber minion range.
Mm-hmm.
And even if, say, you place like a miner with it, you can take out like many utility units. The amount of value arrows can get, I think it would be number one, but poison is like kind of a close second. Because again, it's 4 elixir. It's going to be like your fireball, but it has that slowdown effect. It has a little bit of an extra kind of flair to it that makes it stand out as an epic.
Mm.
But if I had to choose between the two, I would say arrows.
I was going to either say arrows or lightning. But I think lightning really came from retro mode. There was just so much.
And just Goblin Sign being so like relevant over the past 5 months.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say we could say arrows. And that's exactly what it was last season as well. It's going to have a repeat on that.
Mech hasn't changed too much within the past couple months.
Yeah.
You're not really going to see too many things that are drastically different.
Right. And I don't know if we really have to discuss the best building, but I believe it's going to be your evolution cannon or just cannon in general. Like you were saying before, it's a 3 elixir. It's cheap. It's great for cycling. And the evolution is just an added on bonus where it just throws 8 missiles or whatever. It just explodes half of the opponent's map. So yeah, in my opinion, I think the best building in the game is the cannon.
Yeah, there really isn't much to add to that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you see people who because sometimes like back in the day, there used to be Golem players who played with Tombstone as like a passive building. I wouldn't be surprised if like those aggressive beatdown players started playing Evo Cannon.
Yeah,
just because of how viable it is. It's a cheap board wipe unit.
Mm-hmm.
It can distract like those big units like the giants, the balloons, the hounds.
Yep.
And it still has a good amount of ground like defense potential.
Absolutely. All right.
And
the card MVP. Yeah, I sent this a couple of days ago. But according to Royal API, you got number 1, you got the normal, just no Evo, but just the normal bomber. Then you got the Evo Lumberjack and Mega Minion with Heal Spirit. Now, I don't get this, but this is the last 14 days in just Ultimate Champion. So it's very weird seeing Heal Spirit number 4, but Giant's number 5, Bowler 6. So
it's probably because of the Goblin Giant that have been around.
Yeah.
Because you see Heal Spirit with like a lot of Sparky matchups. The
True.
Like 3M.
True. Yep.
It's not really in like say your generic cycle decks because it's not going to provide as much value for that. It's not going to have the reset as like your Ice Spirit or E Spirit,
and it's not going to destroy goblins and stuff like a lot.
It's not meant to damage. It's meant to just provide a little bit of a boost for your push.
Yep. But what do you think card MVP is?
I would still say Evo Lumberjack.
That was my vote as well. It's still very,
there really
very good.
Isn't anything else that can contend with it. You have your Mega, your Bomber as like good utility units, but the amount of potential that you can get out of the Evo Lumberjack, like it'll take out cards that are more elixir than it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the Ghost. The Ghost makes that card so overpowered. Like, I don't want to say in a nerfable standpoint because there really isn't much you can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's an 18%
to the point where you have to deal with it. You have to take that card away from the tower for the range of the rage. Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah. 18% usage, and it's a 51% win percentage. And I was gonna ask you, because one of our voters, Frozen Yeti, his vote was, I think it was either, let me check here. I think it was Lumberjack, Evolution Lumberjack, or Prince. I think Prince was more on the side of the retro mode. But honestly, Prince could be number 2. It's sitting on number 10 according to Royale API. Usage rate is 16%, also a 51% win percentage. I guess all of these are 51%. It's kind of weird, but
yeah, I was gonna say probably top 5 if anything. Like I wouldn't say like it's top 2, just because of like all the other cars that you see that are very relevant. You see, I mean, Evo Lumberjacks and everything. Evo Cannon even.
Yeah, Cannon would be.
I think probably. That would be up there too.
I was about to say Cannon.
Even though it's not used as much in the say Grand Challenges.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, yeah. You changed my mind. Cannon would be definitely number 2. Like Cannon,
top 5, no question. I would put put Prince, because you see it in Rascal Prince Bait, Giant Double Prince, anything double Prince. You'll see in Rascal Prince Bait, Mega Knight Breakers.
Yeah.
It has that single target sniping ability to it'll one shot a barb when it's fully charged. It'll 2-shot them just standing.
Well, there you guys have it. Evolution Lumberjack is your 2-time card MVP, and hopefully that changes next season, because hopefully it gets a nerf in the balance changes. So yeah. And guys, if you haven't already, join the Discord server. The Discord server has been popping off because we are starting a dual battle league. So if you guys want to follow that or join it as well, which by the time you probably hear this episode, it'll be closed out by now. I think with this one, we can only really have 2 more players join, and then after that, we're just going to be too full. But yeah, everything will be down in the show notes below. We also release these episodes on YouTube as well. So if you guys listen on YouTube, or if you'd rather listen on YouTube, it's there as well. But yeah, I think that's going to do it, and we'll see you on the next one.